The Vonage Number Insights API delivers real-time intelligence about the validity, reachability, and roaming status of a phone number and tells you how to format the number correctly in your application. In this video, we are going to look at how to use the API with Node.js and the Koa.js framework. The tutorial will take you through the process from scratch. If you'd like to see the finished code, you can clone the Git repo for this project or remix it on Glitch. Both links are available in the description box. There are 3 levels of Number Insights API available: Basic, Standard, and Advanced, each returning an increasing amount of information about the queried phone number. For example, the Standard API includes all of the locale and formatting information from the Basic API and returns extra data about the type of number, whether it is ported, and if you're in the US, the identity of the caller too. The Advanced API provides the most comprehensive data. It includes everything that is available in the Basic and Standard APIs and adds roaming and reachability information. It's available asynchronously as well as synchronously. Before getting started, you'll need a basic understanding of JavaScript, Node.js installed on your machine, and a Vonage API account for your API credentials. Begin by creating a project folder on your local machine. Then run npm init to set up a new Node.js project. This will trigger a series of prompts that will generate your package.json file. You can choose to leave the answers blank to use the default values if you'd like. Next, install Koa.js. Do note that Koa requires Node version 7.6 or higher for async function support. Now create a server.js file in your project folder. Paste the following code into your newly created file, and then run the server.js file. If you navigate to localhost 3000 from your browser, you should now see an empty page with your placeholder text. You should also install .env, which allows you to load environment variables stored in a .env file into process.env. And now you can create the .env file, and it should contain at least the following variables: Vonage API key and your Vonage API secret. If you haven't yet signed up for a Vonage API account, now's a pretty good time to do it. Once you've logged into the dashboard, your API credentials should be the first thing you see. To access environment variables, you'll have to require it, ideally at the top of your server.js file. First off, start by installing the Nexmo REST API client for Node.js. Next, initialize a new Nexmo instance. As mentioned earlier, there are 3 levels for the Number Insights API, and you can pick one depending on the type of information you require. You will need some way to input the phone number to be queried, so let's create a basic web page to do just that. Create a public folder in your project and add an index.html file, a styles.css file, and a script.js to the folder. Your project structure should now look something like this. Now add the following to your index.html page. You can also add some basic styles to the page by adding the following to the styles.css file. Again, any code you'd like to reference is available in the Git repo. The next step is to send the input to the server so you can plug it into the Number Insights API and check it. To do that, trigger a post request to a route that will handle the form content. You will need to handle this post request on the server side. Unlike other popular Node.js frameworks like Express, Koa is much more modular. Features like routing or serving static files are supported, but in separate modules, which need to be installed. Update your server.js file to use these new dependencies. First, instead of serving up the placeholder Hello Dinosaur message, modify your server.js file to use the index.html file. Next, set up the route for incoming post requests to the submit route. If everything is set up correctly, you should be able to enter a phone number and get the resulting information about that number on your web page. With the basic API, you can determine the country where a number is registered and the local and international representation of that number. With such information, you could discover which country a number belongs to and use the information to format the number correctly. The Number Insights Standard API provides all the information from the basic API together with the following additional data: the line type, the mobile country code and mobile network code, and also the name of the caller if you're in the US. A common use case for this would be to determine the best type of communication for a number, like SMS or voice, and block virtual numbers. Finally, the Number Insight Advanced API provides all the data from the Number Insight Standard API together with the following additional information: whether the number is likely to be valid, if the number is ported, if the number is reachable, and if the number is roaming, and if so, the carrier and country. Often, such information is used to determine the risk associated with a number. The advanced version can also be used asynchronously to return the insight data when it becomes available via a webhook. And that's everything you need to get started with the Number Insights API. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. We're ready to help. Until next time, thanks for watching.